Hello and namaste to all of you. This is Javin Chalu Singh from Department of Physiotherapy and Diagnosis. In previous lectures, I was discussing about folate. For today's section, I'll be discussing about various deficiency manifestations. Number one, when there is folate deficiency, there is a reduced DNA synthesis. So, in folate deficiency, THFA is reduced and thymidylate synthase enzyme is inhibited. So, DUMP is not converted to DTMP. So, DTTP is not available for DNA synthesis. So, the cell division is basically arrested. And very rapidly dividing cells in bone marrow and intestinal mucosa are therefore most seriously affected. Secondly, it can lead to macrocytic anemia. It is the most characteristic feature of folate deficiency, and during RBC generation, DNA synthesis is delayed, but protein synthesis is continued. So, thus, hemoglobin accumulates in RBC precursors, and this asynchrony or a dissociation between a maturity of nucleus and cytoplasm is manifested as immature looking nucleus and mature eosinophilic cytoplasm in the bone marrow cells. Now, reticulocytosis is often seen, and these abnormal RBCs they are rapidly destroyed in spleen. So, hemolysis will lead to the reduction of lifespan of RBCs. Now, reduced generation and increased destruction of RBCs will result in anemia. Leukopenia and thrombocytopenia they are also manifested. So, the peripheral blood picture in folate deficiency is described as macrocytic and in cobalamin deficiency as megaloblastic. So, in B12 deficiency, there are additional neurological symptoms. So, hyperchromocysteinemia. So, due to folic acid deficiency, it may lead to increased homocysteine levels in blood, and since remethylation of homocysteine is affected, plasma homocysteine levels are above 15 micromoles per liter and is known to increase the risk of coronary artery diseases. So, providing adequate doses of pyridoxine B12 and folic acid may lower the homocysteine levels. So, various birth defects. So, folic acid deficiency during pregnancy may lead to neural tube defect in fetus, and folic acid prevents hyperchromocysteinemia and therefore neural tube defects like spina bifida. So, intake of folic acid is a must from early pregnancy. Now, in cancer, folic acid deficiency is prevention of cancer. So, folate deficiency contributes to the etiology of bronchial carcinoma and cervical carcinoma. Now, assessment of folate deficiency. Now, the blood levels. Normal folic acid level in serum is about 20 nanograms per ml and about 200 micrograms per ml of packed cells. So, the level is measured by radioimmunoassay. Now, histidine load test or Figlu excretion test. So, histidine is normally metabolized to formoaminoglutamic acid and known as Figlu, and from which formoamino group is removed by THFA, and therefore the folate deficiency Figlu is excreted in urine. Next is your ICAR excretion, which is AICAR. So, in purine ring synthesis, the last step is the addition of C2 with the help of N10 formyl THFA. Now, when this is blocked, the precursor amidoimidazole carboxyamide ribonucleotide, which is ICAR, accumulates and excreted in urine, and it shows peripheral blood picture. So, what are the sources of folic acid? So, rich sources of folate are green leafy vegetables. Moderate sources are cereals, pulses, oil, seeds, egg, milk as a poor source of folic acid. Now, what is the recommended RDA? So, the requirement of free folate is 200 micrograms per day, and in pregnancy, the requirement is increased to 400 micrograms per day, and during lactation, it increases to 300 micrograms per day. Now, what is folic acid therapy? So, the therapeutic dose is 1 mg of folic acid per day orally, and folic acid alone, which should not be given in macrocytic anemia, and because it may aggravate the neurological manifestation of B12 deficiency. So, the folic acid and B12 are given in combinations to patients. So, regular supplementation of folic acid may reduce the incidence of birth defects, cardiovascular diseases, and cancers. Now, what is toxicity of folic acid? So, doses over 1 mg may cause aggravation of vitamin B12 deficiency and may precipitate nerve damage. So, since solubility of folic acid is low, large doses should not be given parenterally, and as there is a danger of crystallization in kidney tubules leading to renal damage. So, what are folate antagonists basically? Sulfonamides, so they are structurally similar with PABA, and therefore they competitively inhibit the enzymes responsible for incorporation of PABA into dihydroptoric acid and the immediate precursors of folic acid. So, bacteria they can synthesize folic acid from components pteridine, PABA, and glutamate, and sulfonamides they are given. Such microorganisms cannot synthesize folic acid, and hence their growth is inhibited. So, as man cannot synthesize folic acid, the entire molecule has to be supplied in diet, and the formed folic acid it cannot enter into bacteria but only into mammalian cells. So, thus, sulfonamides are very good antibacterial agents which do not affect human cells. Now, what is pyrimethamine? So, this antifolate agent is used against plasmodial infections, or we can say anti-malarial infections, anti-malarial drugs. So, next is your aminopterin and amethopterin. So, aminopterin is called as 4-aminofolic acid, and amethopterin is your methotrexate, or called as 4-amino 10-methyl folic acid. So, these are basically competitive inhibitors of folate reductase and THFA generation. So, thus these drugs they decrease DNA formation and cell division. So, they are basically widely used as anti-cancer drugs or anti-metabolites, and especially for leukemias. So, and basically in case of your choriocarcinomas, so folinic acid or citrovorum factor is given to rescue the patient from toxicity of methotrexate, and methotrexate is also used in treatment of rheumatoid arthritis as immunosuppressant. So, this was all about basically your folic acids. So, for further vitamin B12 we'll discuss in next lecture. So, until then, if you have any doubts, you can discuss me. Until then, take care and goodbye.